Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm getting this in before my house gets raided with boys again. I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. I have a card today using an oldie. I know it's oldie, it's new to me, but it's an oldie. I got it at one of the shows, but it was someone that was closing down and we hadn't seen her for a little while, but she was back. And so she bought it new and it's never been used until today. It is called Penny Black Flower Embrace. I'm also using a, I want to say Stampenders, but it's not Stampenders. Stampers Anonymous for my sentiment. The colours that I've chose today, honestly, they were on my desk. So some people that were in one of my latest classes may recognize the color combination. But they were on my desk, so I thought, you know what, let's just go with the flow and do it. So B39, B05, BO2. Now it is a big jump between the 39 and the 05, of course, so we're just going to use a little bit of tip to tip technique just to make sure those colors blend in nicely together. I am not fussing around too much with the rest of the colors apart from that daisy. I don't know my flowers. If you have been here for long enough, you know that I don't know my flowers, but it's pretty. With these long other flowers, I don't know, they're too small. Don't stress about it. Don't stress. I just had the multi-liner just to fill in. I noticed a couple of spots that didn't actually stamp terribly well. My reds are R89, R46, R24 and 22. They are my favorite combinations of reds. I will completely be honest. But as I said, they're on my desk, so, you know. So basically we're doing a bit of a primary color combination today. And I just thought it would be fun. Fun when I used it in class and fun that we're using it now. This combination, I will completely say that I do use it for a lot of things. It is a favorite. I'm not ashamed, and that's it. A lot of these flowers are very, very tall and very, very small. They're not really tall, but they're very, very small. And I'm not stressing too much, especially when it gets down to the small flowers and the little, I don't know, whatever flowers they are. I'm just not worrying about these things whatsoever. I decided to use, like most things, I tend to put a group. It's usually about 3, but you've got 2 flowers that are very small together. So I'm saying they're 1. That's what I'm doing. I wanted a little bit of a variation, a little bit of a difference in those colors. So I'm just using the BO2 and going over that again with the R22 just to make it a bit more of a purpley red. You know, purpley. Yeah, it's purpley red. Let's just put it that way. Next, we have YR23, Y17, and Y21. I am going to go back through in the very later on and just do a little tiny stroke of R05. I just thought they didn't really have as much depth as I would have liked. So we're just going to add a little bit of the red. It's not red, it's more orangey red. But it's going to give a nice little contrast and make it just, you know, it's not really, I'm not someone that's been to school with these things. With colouring and design and art and all that sort of stuff. But it's not too much of a jump because the R, it then goes into orange and then goes into yellow. The centers of my daisy, I'm basically using the YR23 and the Y17 just to give it a little bit of texture, just using a bit of stippling technique. And then the Y23 to finish off our flowers. And there you can see it's a very orangey, red. It's not red, but I just thought it needed a little bit of depth. The greens that I have are G28, YG67 and YG03. I am going to use a little bit of a tip to tick technique, just that I felt it just wasn't. The 67, the 03 is just a little bit too much of a jump. I just wanted to show you these leaves because most of it is pretty much colour the same, but these of course are underneath the existing daisy, blue daisy. I don't know if there is a blue daisy, but we're going to go with that because it's my card and who cares. We don't really. We just want to see our pretty things and just want to colour it nice and lovely. I do have a little bit of problem with colouring things like people's hair, non-normal hair colouring, but that's just my own little thing, and plenty of people have a non-normal hair colour, so that's all fine. I decided to bring in the G46 because it had the fine tip, so I changed the chisel tip over to the very, very fine tip, and now we're just colouring in the same colour with the little leaves and flowers. And that was the only sort of reason why I did that. I didn't really fuss with it whatsoever. And that's just using the same of the YG67 and a little bit of the G28 and going down to the Y03. But some of them I didn't even bother with doing that. I forgot this little flower on the side, so we'll quickly finish him off. I am going to cut this out by hand. I don't have a die. I don't know if they have a die. You could easily cut out the center. I'm going to stamp first a sentiment using, as I said, the stamp is anonymous, and it's called, what is it called? Noteworthy. And it's just some nice little sentiments. And I just like the font on them, so we're going to use that just in the middle. I'm going to gold emboss that to make it sort of stand out, because it's going to go onto some of my petals and everything, just a little tiny bit, nothing major, but just a little tiny bit. So we'll stamp that down and heat set that, and then we will cut this puppy out. With the rest of the card, I really wasn't too sure what I've done. So I've got a Stampin' Up embossing folder. Would you believe that word just totally threw me? Stampin' Up embossing folder. It's an old one. It's called Subtle. It's just a lot of little lines, basically. I went to do my normal with my white, and I decided that this needed to be a little bit less. A little bit of colour behind it. I've trimmed this down to 14.1 by 9.7. And, sorry, don't know that in inches. Going to raise it up with a little bit of foam tape, just trying to make sure my sentiment is nice and straight. The last thing we're going to do is some confetti sequins. Now, you do have to be a little bit careful, because once you get them, sometimes they are a little bit stuck together. So I just twist them in my fingers and just make sure that there's only one there. I'm going to glue them down with a little bit of multi-matte medium once I finish playing with them. And that is my card for today. If you are not yet a follower over on Instagram, I am Natalie Perry Walsh. I'll be honest to have you hit the subscribe button if you have liked this video. Finish off a little bit of Winker Stella. If you like this video, hit the little bell icon and you'll get notified each time I post. I generally try and do it once a week at the moment because schedules are pretty crazy town. That's my card for today. I hope you're well. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.